Hi there guys, I know I look the same as I did in the last video, but we're about to get a huge winter storm where I am, and that means that everyone in my household is not going to be able to go to work. So this is my only night this week that I'll be able to record, so you'll have to just forgive me for that. But tonight I decided that since we are quickly approaching the dawn of a new year, it might be a nice idea to do kind of a magical Monday where we do a little bit of an oracle reading. So hopefully that will kind of help you prepare for the upcoming year. Remember that oracle and tarot cards cannot absolutely predict the future. They can't tell you exactly what's going to happen and when, but it can give you some ideas on how to prepare for things. So we're going to be using the Isis Oracle. This is a very good oracle deck, especially for beginners or for people who need very specific advice, because it has full sentences on the cards and it can really help you understand exactly what it is you need to do. We're also going to be using my Wildwood Tarot. I mentioned in a past video this summer that I was floored when I found this tarot deck, because I first encountered it when I was maybe 19, 20, I think at the max, and ever since it's been calling to me. It's been trying to find me no matter where I go, and it finally did find me, which is absolutely crazy. So of course I had to have it as soon as I saw it again. So we're also going to be using that one. This one is better for more not vague advice, but it's more spiritual advice that kind of encourages you to seek out the answers inside yourself rather than just slapping you in the face with them. So let's start out with the Isis deck. I'm not going to ask it any super specific questions. That's more for each of you to decide for yourselves. If you have any specific questions you want to ask your spirit guides or your deities or just the elements and energies in the world, feel free to go ahead and think of those and ask them now before I start pulling cards. All I'm going to personally ask it is just, do spirits and do the deities and the elements of the earth and beyond have any advice for us moving forward into the year 2021? What is it that they would like to say to us? And of course, before turning the camera on, I did make sure that I cleansed my space and that I cast a circle and everything's good to go and safe. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a lot of 3 cards from each deck. So again, beginning with the Isis deck. First card. Make sure that when you are doing tarot or oracle for yourself, that you really pay attention to what your heart's telling you. Don't just necessarily pull the top card in the deck. Make sure that you are listening to whichever one is the loudest, and then pull that one. This is what the first card looks like. It's a very, very beautiful piece of artwork, and the advice on this card says, Goddess of 10,000 names. If you have felt constrained by a role, name, or identity and are wishing for assistance in growing beyond it, or if you have sensed a new role or identity calling you into greater expression and would love some divine help in that growth, this oracle indicates the help you need is already with you, urging your growth from within. So this can carry on a few different meanings depending on what you're going through right now. Let's start with something that I'm sure jumped out to people, which is a gender identity and expression. So if you are someone who identifies as a gender that is contrary to the one that is expected of you, what it's saying is that if you are struggling with where to go from here, what to do with that knowledge, the signs have been around you this entire time. You need to kind of think about what those signs have been, because they have already been in your life. They've been trying to tell you what you should do about it this entire time. So think of maybe close friends that you've told who took the news really well, and some advice they may have told you that in that moment kind of flew over your head or something, or a family member who has been pretty supportive, even something as serious as maybe this is time for you to actually change your name, goddess of 10,000 names. Maybe it's time for you to take that plunge and start looking into legally having it changed to suit your identity a little bit better than the one you currently have. It can also be something to do with starting hormone replacement therapy, or if you've already done that, going forward with planning on getting some surgery done. So think about some signs that may have been appearing around you that maybe you didn't notice right away. Sometimes you need to kind of think backwards to realize that, oh yeah, that kind of did appear to me already. Now, this card does not only pertain to people who exist under the transgender and non-binary umbrella. So in terms of family life, maybe you're realizing that you are ready for something like bringing a child into the world, whether it is naturally, by someone becoming pregnant with the child, or whether it is through something like fostering or adoption. Maybe it's time to start thinking about expanding your family. And once again, just like what I was just saying to the last group, the signs have been there. Maybe your partner's been dropping hints to you, or if you are a potentially soon to be single parent, maybe you've been kind of noticing people with kids a lot more lately, and it's been giving you that warm familial type feeling, and you took that first as just, it's just a cute family, but it actually means you're ready to start your own family. If you are doing well in your career path right now, you're doing well at work, you're getting praised for your performance, your pay is pretty decent, you're still not happy though, remember that money is not everything. There will always be someone out there who is willing to support you so that you can do whatever your dreams are, so you can achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So stop thinking so much about the money aspect, although that is important. Obviously, it isn't the only thing available to you or the only thing that's important for your life. So maybe it's time to start looking more towards a career field that matches your aspirations and personal goals better. And of course, we have to come to the slightly more negative side of this card, which is in relationships. Maybe your relationship hasn't been going quite as well as you think. Maybe some things have been going wrong. You've been trying really hard to make it work as best as you can, but it still just isn't. Things are still just going wrong. There's maybe communication breakdowns. Maybe there's been infidelity or something. It's good to try to make things work. It's always good to give everything your best effort, but at the end of the day, if all it's doing is exhausting you, it's time to move on. This is what the next card looks like. And it's kind of funny, after that last topic we just touched on, it's called the Dark Healing Chamber. And it says, the most challenging task is to take courage in both hands and journey within to meet our own dark self and begin the healing task of bringing love, acceptance, and light into it. The sacred purpose of any enemy, with or without, is to push us to venture inwards, to seek and heal the darkness within. So basically, this card is going along with something that I preach a lot on my channel, and that's the fact that, yeah, light work is nice. Everyone likes light work. Everyone likes feeling happy and positive. But at the end of the day, it's equally as important to do some dark work on ourselves, to look at the things that aren't so nice, and, the sides of ourselves we usually try to keep in the shadows, because you need that balance in your life. And since this card came after the last card, what this card is telling you is, if you want what that last card promised, if you want an out to something that's bothering you, if you want out of a bad relationship, if you want out of a job that isn't making you happy, if you want to start a family, if you want to start expressing your gender in a way that suits you better, or anything outside of that, that kind of relates to that topic, you're gonna have to do some stuff that you don't want to do. You're gonna have to put in the hard work, and you're gonna have to face some dark sides of yourself and some dark sides of the people around you. For the gender expression issue, maybe some of the people around you, once they realize that you're about to change that drastically in their mind, obviously not for you, but in their minds, some of them aren't going to take it as well as others. Maybe some people that you thought would always have your back are going to surprise you in a negative way, and they're going to take it the worst, and you're going to lose people. Maybe you're going to realize that you don't have a best friend anymore or a family member anymore that has always been there for you until they realize that you're trying to be your authentic self. And that's hard, and I'm not going to take that away from you at all, how hard that is. But it will be worth it in the end when you realize that now you get to be true to who you really are, and you will find a new community of people who will accept you for who you are and every aspect of yourself, no matter how different that might be from how they are. If you are ready for a family and maybe people don't think that you would be, cut out to be a parent because of, some stuff from your past, or maybe people are being too pushy with you about, their parenting methods versus yours and making you feel bad, you're going to have to go through all those dark parts of it. Maybe you're realizing that you do want to adopt or you do want to get pregnant, and there are going to be hardships that come with that, pregnancy won't come easy, or the adoption process will be especially grueling. But again, that reward is still waiting for you at the end of that tunnel, and it's going to all be worth it in the end. And again, same with the job and stuff, you're going to end up in a job that makes you happy. Maybe you'll take a little bit of a dock in pay, but every night you come home with a smile on your face because you're doing what you were meant to do. You're doing what you truly love to do, so it's worth it. And you've got the support of the people around you who want you to be happy like that. So this one definitely works in tandem with the last one. Just realize that yeah, you're about to be happy when you start doing these things for yourself, but there's gonna be some ugly points on that road. Our last card from the Isis deck is this one. Once again, absolutely stunning painting on the front. And this is the Key of Life. The Ankh portends new life being born through you now. This new life being born in whatever form will enrich your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Do not give up on your creative destiny. Stay with it. You are flowing in the right direction, and you have spiritual support from the unseen worlds. Let it happen. Once again, goes right along with that last card. So this one is saying, once you get to those rough points in the road, once you get to the points of your journey that are particularly difficult, just remember that it's worth it in the end, that you have spiritual guidance. Your spiritual guides, or whatever it is that you happen to believe in, they are there for you. They are holding your hand every step of the way and making sure that you will achieve that goal that will make you happy. And just understand that new life is hard. Being born was hard. It was hard on you, and it was hard on your mother both. I mean, when you think of the process of being born, so all forms of new life are difficult, and you've got to push through those hard points to get to the end. Pooh Bear the Oracle Cat is here now. Don't mind him. He decided he was going to show up for the next deck, which is the Wildwood Tarot. Now, although this deck is referred to as a tarot deck, it doesn't play quite to the rules of a traditional tarot deck. It does have various suits, and that kind of makes it, the suits and numbers, similar to a tarot deck, but it does play by its own rules, which you'll see in a moment. So the first card that we have, and this once again aligns very much with the Isis Tarot, is the Woodward, which looks like this. And what the Woodward card means is that you are going to be ripped from your comfort zone. Whatever is giving you comfort and security, it's going to be taken from you. Not necessarily that aggressively, although it could be, but you are going to be put into situations in order to gain what it is that you want out of your life this coming year that are going to cause you to feel every negative emotion that there is, which is not going to be a great time. However, what do you notice in this card's image? although he's going through hell and back, he stays strong. He carries on. He continues with his journey. So even though the situations are going to knock you down, they're going to make you feel a little bit hopeless or scared or insecure, you will emerge stronger than when you went in. The next card we have is the Two of Arrows, which is injustice. Going along with the last card, what this card means is that once you are ripped from that security and comfort, you are going to realize that a lot of the barriers blocking your path are completely unfair. There's nothing just about them at all. They're completely horrible to you. No matter how much you try to balance things out, it's going to remain imbalanced for a certain amount of time. Some people would refer to this as a test. The universe is going to chuck all it can at you with that security blanket being pulled out from under you to see what you can put up with. Are you willing to stick it out and fight for what it is that you want in this life? And last, we have the Five of Stones, which is endurance. It's a little lone child in a cave on a dark and stormy night with just a little fire, and that's all he's got, or she, I'm not really sure, to defend themselves from everything that's just falling apart around them. This basically means just weather the storm. Just what this kid's doing in this card. Just weather the storm. I know it's hard. Universe knows it's hard. Spirit knows it's hard to sit through all of these things you're going to have to endure in the next year. It's going to be tricky. It's not magically going to get all better just because 2020 will be behind us. It's going to be equally hard, if not even harder. But if you can just stick it out, if you can just get through all of those difficult parts, you will achieve what you need. That's what keeps getting repeated tonight. So that was just a little oracle session for the coming year of 2021. I know not all of it is necessarily what people were probably wanting to hear. So once again, remember, perfect balance. You need the good and the bad in equal measure. In the end, everything is going to be fine. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Even if you don't believe in it, maybe you had a little bit of fun hearing what the cards meant. And until next time, do something that makes you happy, no matter what anyone else thinks about it. And I'll see all of you again very soon.